Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 Chevy 1500 Trail Boss. The Trail Boss is a new package for the new body style for 2019. That being said, if you are on the market for a new Chevy, this vehicle is actually being provided to us by Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray. Building's over there, but they have a ton of vehicles, so this is their overflow lot. Definitely check these guys out. We're gonna do a quick walk around on the truck, then we're gonna take it out to see how it drives, and if you are stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Under the hood here of the Trail Boss is the 5.3 liter V8, and that is actually routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission. In terms of fuel economy numbers, you're gonna get 15 around town and then 20 on the highway. This actually has a 24-gallon fuel tank capacity. Towing capacity is 9,400 pounds. And then in terms of power outputs, you're gonna get 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. And if you're wondering why they don't put the bigger 6.2 liter V8 here in the Trail Boss, just a little bit too much torque and power for the off-road. You actually can have too much power when you are going off-road, believe it or not. Now this is actually by far my favorite part of the Trail Boss, and it's the front end. So we'll start at the hood. They've got these traditional lines that they've had on Chevy hoods for quite a while. They've kind of redesigned them a little bit for the new body style, but it still is distinctly Chevy. But just down below, you actually can get these LED reflector lights. The turn signal is integrated just down below. You got this Chevy bow tie logo, and everything is all blacked out. That's why I love this. And then they have one of my favorite aspects is tow hooks, but they're in red. I love the look of red tow hooks. You got little fog lamps that are down below as well. And then the parking sensors are just integrated right there. But this front end just looks so large and imposing, and I think it's the best looking front end that Chevy has ever done. Around the side here, we have these 18-inch gloss black rims, which go with the blacked out theme. They are 275 millimeter tires. They're the Wrangler Goodyear tires. They're actually really good off-road tires. You can see how aggressive these tires actually are. So this truck from the factory with the tires is already set to go off-roading. And then just so you know, this does have a 2-inch suspension lift. It is from the factory, so that's why the truck stands quite a bit taller compared to a stock truck, and that is due in part to the Z71 package that comes with this particular Trail Boss. Here's your key fob for the 2019 Trail Boss. You get a couple functions here, so your lock and unlock. And then if we actually lock the truck and hold the remote start button down, takes just a moment. That 5.3 liter V8 will start right up out of the dual exhaust tips, and then if you press that button again, the truck will shut right off. The other function you can see on the key fob is the tailgate release, so you just press that twice, and that will slow lower down the tailgate. And now that the tailgate's lowered down, we can see it's got a spray and bed liner in here. You've got actually have the Chevy logo in the back, which is pretty neat. And you can see the cargo light up above and there, and then you do get LED bed lights in here as well. And then you can see there's some tie-down hooks on the bed, so that this is, you know, overall practicality is really good. And then lifting up the bed, it's actually really light and easy to get into place. Wrapping things up in the back here, you've got the backup camera right there. That's just a button for the tailgate function. And then down here, we've got all of our plugins for towing. We do have a receiver hitch, more parking sensors. And like I said prior, there is a dual exhaust system here. And then Chevy does give you these nice LED tail lamps, which are new for the 19s on this particular truck. And then down here, we can see the little steps. So you can put your foot here, step up there, it makes it a lot easier. So on the back here, we actually have keyless entry. So one touch to lock it, and then you just have to press it again. That'll unlock it. I love it when manufacturers give that in the front and the rear. But we can look at the door panel here. So we've got the leather padding, more padding on the door with some nice stitching. The door handle here, and then you've got your window control with the trim just down below. A bunch of cup holders. You can see the speaker, but really nice door panel actually. And looking at the interior, this has the full leather package. And so these are leather seats, and then you can see you've got some cup holders you can pull out here, and then Chevy's new little hideaway storage spaces that are just there behind the seats, and we can actually pick these up. There's extra storage underneath, and they give you these little compartments right there. It's nice that they give you rubber floor mats from the factory, since this is the off-road package. And then when you do want to lower the seat, there's just a little strap that you have to pull on that side of things. And then there are some little charging stations, USBs, there's a little 12 volt, and then you get vents, and then some more cup holders for the rear passengers. Now up front here, we have keyless entry again, so one touch to lock it, and then you just one touch to unlock it. And we can see the door panel here at the front. Looks identical to the one in the rear, so leather, you get more of the stitching, and then more leather up top, and then more of that really cool looking trim. So it's kind of like a wood trim, but it just has this nice gloss finish to it. Window controls are up here, and then you have all your mirror controls, all of your door lock and unlock function right there. And then we can see the other speaker for the Bose sound system. It is a more premium sound system. Sounds actually really good in this truck. And then we can look at the seat here. We have all of our controls for the seat. So power adjustments on that. And then looking at the seat itself, these seats are actually really, really comfortable. So full leather. And then there's some stitching in it. It's pretty close to the same color as the leather, but the bolsters are actually really nice. They're not super narrow. And then before we pop in, we can see the pedal layout down below. That's for your hood latch. Parking brake. We have all of our light controls over here. So I usually just leave it in automatic mode on most vehicles, but you do have a fog light control and then your cargo light there as well. Those buttons are just right there. And then your drive select here. So you've got your 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, 2-wheel drive auto. And then you can see you've got your between switching the different modes, trailer mode and all of that. Stepping in, stepping height's actually a little bit higher. I'd recommend maybe power steps or side steps in general to make it getting in and out a lot easier, but put your foot on the brake and push the push start. That will start up the Trail Boss, and don't want the radio on or anything like that, but you can see the gauges will do a little bit of a sweep. Now right over here we have all of our controls for the center screen right there. Then you also have your Bluetooth and phone controls. Then your cruise controls over here. That's actually for the heated steering wheel. There are rocker panels on the back of the steering wheel to change the radio channels yourself. And then you have your regular turn signal stock with all the controls for the windshield wipers and all that. And then this is actually the shifter. So it is a column shifter, and then you can shift the gears yourself if you want. And here's our gauge cluster setup. On the left side, you have the RPMs. Over on the right side, you have the speedo, and then you have all the other gauges that give you different bits of information like fuel and temperature. And then there's that little center screen that I told you about that you can scroll through different menus. So you can see, I'm just gonna go through a couple of the menus so you can see the different things that you can go through. It's not letting me do anything though because the truck is in demo mode since this is a brand new vehicle, but those are the couple menus that you can actually go through. Now here's a touchscreen for the Trail Boss. This is gonna look identical to that touchscreen on the LTZ that you guys recently saw a video on. You still get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The touchscreen is super responsive, really easy to use. It's definitely one of the better touchscreens in the car industry. It's just like an iPad, but you're going to be able to do your radio, calling, texting, everything through that touchscreen. While we're on the touchscreen, let's put the Trail Boss into reverse. We can see that the backup camera will pop up, little trajectory lines right there, and then you do have like a trailer mode, so you can just make one single line, so hooking up to a trailer is a lot easier, and then you actually can zoom in or out on the backup camera, so it has quite a bit of functionality on it. And down here we have all of our other controls for the radio. They're like your analog controls. You have your home screen button, for example. Just down below that we have all of our climate controls on the Trail Boss, so we can see it is a dual zone climate up here. I like that they keep that separate from the touchscreen. I hate it when everything's put into a touchscreen. And then we can see here we have all of our controls for the seats. You do get heated seats, and you can have it just on the back or on the back and the bottom. And then there's a whole sweep of controls right here. So hill descent control, that's for your power outlet. Stability control, hazard lights, that's to lower down the tailgate. That's to turn on or off the auto stop start, and that's for your parking sensors. Just down below we have our trailer brakes that are already integrated, more charging stations, and you do get a full power outlet. We do get some extra storage here, some cup holders, and then speaking on storage, you do get the center console. I'd recommend you could like put your phone or something here. I really like that Chevy gives you that option, but we can open this up. Center console is massive. You get some USBs, auxiliary cord in there on top of that, but tons and tons of storage space in here. And while we're still on the topic of storage space, here is the dual glove box system. So we can see that there's storage on the top and the bottom with the glove box. Looking at the top here, we have our controls for OnStar, and then we do have our controls for the power rear setting window. So you press that button and that'll open or close the rear window on that. And then you can see up here we have some universal garage door openers. I'm actually really impressed with the interior on the Trail Boss here. It actually has a very like luxurious feel on the inside, but then has all that off-road capability on the outside with the race suspension, the more aggressive tires, all of that. But that being said, let's take the 2019 Trail Boss out to see how it drives. We are back here with Sniffles Car Reviews. I'm just kidding. I actually found an allergy medicine that is working a little bit better for me, but setting off here in the Trail Boss so far, and I actually reviewed this truck last year, but I'm doing another video on it because this is a little bit different on the interior than the one that I reviewed last year, and I just wanted to get a better video up on the truck because, I mean, let's be honest, the video that I made before is not that good quality. Initially setting off in the Trail Boss, and it has this big, like, substantial feel. Like, this feels like a truck. There is no doubt about that. In terms of visibility over the hood's actually really good. So trucks in general, just, it's hard to see over the hood, but because of how Chevy does their design, it abruptly ends on the hood, so you know exactly where the hood ends. Visibility through both the side mirrors, since they're so long, it's easy to see out of both of those. Out the rear window, it's easy to see. Trucks in general also, because they're so high off the ground, and this one with that 2-inch suspension lift is even a little bit higher, it makes seeing around the truck a lot easier. And you know, you can get blind spot monitoring on these trucks now too, so visibility is not going to be an issue. Now we're just making a turn here. Steering is super light and effortless, and turning radius on the truck's actually pretty good. It definitely still feels like a little bit of a bigger size truck though. That being said, the suspension, and then also on road noise, there's not a whole lot of road noise that comes into the cabin. You are going to get a little bit of extra road noise on this Z71 Trail Boss package, and that's just going to happen when you raise the truck off the ground. It affects it a little bit. The biggest thing is the tires though. Those more aggressive tires, they're just going to have more noise that comes on the cabin, but the ride quality is exceptionally smooth. It's very, very smooth for a truck, and so from a comfort standpoint, you could easily drive this every single day. You wouldn't feel uncomfortable by any means. So just making a turn here and then getting a little acceleration with the 5.3. So I just reviewed that LTZ with a 6.2 liter. If you guys haven't watched that video, that one's just a couple videos down, or I can actually even include a link in the description to that particular video. But just comparing the two engines, yes, this has a little bit less power, but I would actually say it's more than enough power for the truck. It has more than enough torque and more than enough horsepower. And with the off-road, you actually don't want to go too crazy with power, because if you do, you're just going to be spinning out like crazy. You just want just enough torque to be able to get things moving, but you don't want them to be moving crazy fast. To sum things up where this stands, the off-road truck segment is super popular. I personally own an off-road truck. I love them. They look so much cooler than regular trucks. I will always stick with that route. And where the Trail Boss stands is, I'm glad that Chevy's kind of finally, other than just having the Z71 package, they basically have gone a little bit more, what I'd say, like hardcore with an off-road variant. So they give it its own package, essentially, and they give this, more unique look compared to what they have done in the past, and, just to differentiate the truck from the rest of the lineup. And so if you are in the market for an off-road truck, obviously you got to check out everything, but you have to check out one of these Trail Bosses. It's definitely one of the options that's higher up there in the running. And there we have it, everyone, the 2019 Chevy 1500 Trail Boss. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you are stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to Chevy here in Murray for providing us with the vehicle. If you are in the market for a new Chevy, definitely check these guys out. They will hook you up, and then I will see all of you in that next video.